Dan, welcome. Maybe just introduce yourself to everyone, tell them who you are, where you work, and what you do.
My name's Dan Salinas. I work at Lakeside Software. My role there is I manage our America sales team, as well as our business development team, which includes our major relationships with system integrators.
What does Lakeside do?
Lakeside is called a workspace analytics tool. So basically, we gather a lot of intelligence on how people are using their devices in order to help them in three areas. Basically, one, to understand their user experience and be able to understand how well it's performing, and two, to help plan new environments, whether they might be implementing VDI or rolling out Windows 10 or looking to roll out laptops or desktops. What size? Do they need a laptop? Do they need a desktop? Do they need a tablet? And thirdly, really to help when the service delivery process, so like help desk. So when a user calls the help desk, they don't start with what machine are you using and did you reboot? We give all that information to the service desk so that they can provide a better experience.
So the world's changing obviously quickly, more mobility, more complexity, lots of legacy.
Yep.
How is your business evolving? And then we'll talk about end-use computing as part of that.
Definitely what we're seeing is a shift from the model where a corporate IT department basically built every application and delivered every application to the users. So they own the entire delivery and the service experience and the support. Moving to a model where now users are getting applications from all over the place. They're getting applications from Office 365, Microsoft, from Salesforce, from just a number of different providers. And really what we're seeing is that the experience that the user is getting all is delivered in the device. So the device is the common point where all these services are coming together. So what we're about is helping IT understand how the user's getting that experience. So that's kind of what we're seeing in the market, why we're excited about the market. And oh, by the way, like with IT going from being a deliverer of service to a broker of service, meaning I contract with Microsoft to deliver Office 365, they now need to understand, is it a problem in my environment or is it a problem with Microsoft? Because a user can't actually pick up the phone and call Microsoft. Right? They call IT first, and IT has to sort that out. Is it a local issue? Is it this or that? So,
and so you're a great partner of IGEL. Just talk about that a little bit. Why are you a great partner, and how does that work?
Yeah, we both operate within with the virtual desktop and in the remoting world. We've been working together for a number of years. We initially launched the ability to help people understand and plan out what kind of device is best suited for a user. We developed some reporting, and then most recently we launched a really great integration where we built a patented piece of software that runs on the IGEL device that gathers performance information about the IGEL device, and it sends it to a virtual machine so that they can understand and correlate performance of the virtual device in concert with the virtual machine. It's the first industry true end-to-end picture. I've been in business development for quite a long time, and a lot of times what you do in business development is that your partner makes a sheet and you make a sheet and you say this better together story. But this is truly one of those solutions where if you have you need to have an IGEL device and you need to have Lakeside SysTrack software. If you don't have either one of those things, the solution doesn't work. So it's really, truly an integrated solution, unique in the industry. It provides end-to-end visibility of a virtualized remoting experience. So it's really exciting.
And what's the benefit of IGEL as an easy-to-use end-user device? My understanding is that one of the great things about it is it's like plug and you can create a great user experience.
Yeah. I've been with Lakeside for 7 years, but before that I was 18 years at IBM in end-user computing. And I had a lot of experience working with all the thin client vendors, whether it be Wise or HP. Well, before that, NeoWare, and IGEL and others. And there was always a promise of thin client computing that it would be simpler, but in fact, it never really was. It was actually this device that was over there, and it was strange, and you had to manage a different way. And it was almost easier to manage your Windows workstation than it was actually to manage a thin client device, which was the big fallacy. until IGEL came along, and it really is the software, is the only thin client that I've seen that is really actually easier to manage than anything else. Like, it truly is plug and play. If you're really honest with yourself, this is really the first time that a thin client is easier to manage.
And that was a very deliberate step for IGEL. They saw the problem,
right,
and they said, like the rest of the world, we need to be a software-based solution.
Yep.
And if we do that right, then we'll be able to run on our own thin clients or anybody's HP, Dell, whatever hardware. And so the benefits of that decision are obviously being seen.
It's a brilliant strategy. I mean, other manufacturers have made good hardware, and that's not been the issue. It's really been the issue of how do you manage that hardware once you put it in the field, you know. So I think that IGEL running on, you know, a V10 or a Dell Wise solution is a great solution. Matter of fact, us internally, when we learned about it, we had a bunch of Levas, which are little tiny PCs that we were running Windows 10 on them, which Windows 10 lockdown isn't hard. When our IT people saw how easy IGEL was to run, I mean, we did it initially because of the integration, but the IT guys are like, we love this. And they actually ended up putting it on everything. All of our inside sales, support, everything runs on virtualized desktop environments. So they use these little thin, $150 Leva devices running IGEL.
Wow, that's great. Any client examples jump to mind where you think, boy, we went in with IGEL and really made a difference in how they run their business or how they think about running their business?
Well, I mean, a couple of market sectors come to mind. Financial services and healthcare. We've been working a ton with IGEL. Several instances where, one, the client is looking to plan out an IGEL solution, and we've been able to help with the planning part. And then when it comes to actually delivery of the solution and having that end-to-end visibility, we've now deployed it a couple of different times, and it's just brand new. Healthcare specifically, understanding log-on times, which is super critical. You're a doctor, you're walking into a room and you need to be in and out. They have these solutions where you tap, your screen comes up, you do your thing, you tap, it goes away. Measuring that time, and with IGEL, we're able to capture that from the device all the way in and all the way back. And if you didn't have an IGEL device, you wouldn't be able to do that because we wouldn't have the hooks. So really, and if you think about what's going on in most businesses, they're trying to do more with less. So the ability to measure the speed of the performance proactively is super critical, because they can't fix it if they don't know it, right? They can invest, medical, in the healthcare field, they can invest all this money into making it better, but how do they know it's getting better if they don't measure it and understand it? So I think the combination of IGEL, the position in the stack, with our stuff, it's really quite good.
Well, you mentioned healthcare, and it makes me think of two things. Number one, it's an environment where cost is always a factor.
Yeah.
Always a factor. That's a universal. And the second is security is a big factor. I don't want someone having access to my records if I don't want them to, which I understand is also something that you and IGEL are very strong in.
Yeah. Certainly, IGEL in enabling the delivery of a virtualized environment, because virtual environments by definition are much more secure than a practitioner walking around with a laptop, where a laptop could get stolen or whatever, or tracked. So the ability to deliver a successful virtualized solution where IGEL plays a key part of that is key, and by definition those solutions are secure. And the only reason those things aren't implemented everywhere is because of performance, quite honestly. If it performed better, more people would be doing it, and also cost effective. So those two things have been key, and I think that IGEL and to a certain extent us help the ecosystem do.
Well, fantastic. Thanks so much for talking to us. I know Lakeside's doing great things out there, and thanks for sharing with us.
Yeah, thank you very much.